What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Training Arc. I'm super excited today because we're making ice cream. More specifically, we're going back to my first video on this channel and I'll be showing you how to make a burnt caramel ice cream. This came at the request of Maple Apgar. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much for requesting this episode and being patient with me, as I know it's been a while since you asked for it. I don't want you guys to wait any longer, so aprons on, let's go.
For our ice cream base today, we're going to start by making the burnt caramel. Into a saucepan over medium heat, we're combining 3/4 of a cup or 165 grams of sugar and 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of water. Stir this until the sugar is fully dissolved before turning the heat up to high and bringing this mixture to the boil. Once the caramel is boiling and bubbly, we're going to refrain from stirring the mixture, but every now and then you can give the pan a little swill to move things around. We don't want to stir this with a spoon as it could agitate the sugar and cause it to seize and crystallize. If that were to happen, there's really no going back and you'd have to start all over. As you're swirling the pan, if any sugar gets stuck to the sides, you can brush down the saucepan using a dampened pastry brush as necessary. Continue to watch this mixture for roughly 7 minutes or until it reaches a dark amber colour. Once the caramel has reached our desired colour, we're going to add in 2 cups or 500 ml of whole milk from a measuring jug that pours terribly. Be careful when you add in the milk because the mixture will bubble up and generate a lot of steam. Once the milk is added, we're going to dissolve the caramel by constantly stirring until this mixture is completely smooth. Bring this mixture to a simmer before adding in 2 cups or 500 ml of heavy cream along with 1 teaspoon of good quality vanilla extract or vanilla paste. Now let's talk about salt. If you just want a regular burnt caramel ice cream, 1 gram of salt will be fine as that'll be enough to highlight the sweetness and astringency of the burnt caramel. However, if you want to go down the salted caramel route, you can add up to 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of salt depending on how heavy you want the salt flavour to be. I added a total of 3 grams of salt into mine, which I think strikes a nice balance between sweet and salty for this much ice cream base. Either way, once you've added the amount of salt to your liking, we're going to continue to stir this mixture constantly until it comes back up to a simmer. At that point, you're going to remove the pan from the heat and let the mixture sit for a total of 10 minutes just to cool down slightly. While the ice cream base is cooling, we can focus on our eggs. We're going to separate 6 eggs for this recipe, depositing the yolks into a large mixing bowl and setting the whites aside as we won't need them today. Next, we're going to add a 1/4 cup or 55 grams of sugar to the egg yolks before whisking together to dissolve the sugar. Once the sugar is dissolved, we're going to add 1 cup of our hot milk mixture to the egg yolks a 1/4 cup at a time while constantly whisking. By doing this, we are tempering our egg yolks, which gradually raises the temperature of the eggs, which will stop the yolks from scrambling when we add in the remaining milk mixture. Once the first cup of the mixture is fully incorporated into the egg yolks, we can add in the rest of the milk and give everything a good stir to distribute the eggs and additional sugar and make sure that it's all melded together with our initial milk mixture. Return the ice cream base into the saucepan and then over a medium heat, we're going to continue to stir this constantly until this base has thickened. You'll know that you've achieved the correct consistency when you can draw a line on the back of the spoon and that line holds its form, like so. When the base is thickened, we can strain this through a fine mesh sieve into another mixing bowl to catch any stray bits of egg or undissolved caramel. Next, we're going to place this bowl into a larger bowl of ice water and continue to stir it until it has fully cooled down. Once it's cool, we can cover the top of the ice cream base with cling wrap to prevent a skin from forming on the top, and then this needs to be refrigerated for a minimum of 4 hours, but preferably overnight to chill down completely. When the base is fully cooled down, we can get ready to churn our ice cream. Using your ice cream churner of choice, we're going to pour in the ice cream and then churn to factory directions. Typically speaking, this is anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes on a low speed or until the ice cream base reaches a soft serve consistency. Now I want you guys to take a moment to appreciate this. You seeing this right here? This right here is thick boy energy. And then when your ice cream is finished churning, preferably you transfer it into an airtight container, or if you don't have any of an appropriate size, you can place it into a large enough bowl before covering it tightly with plastic wrap like I'm doing here, and then you want to let this rest in the freezer for a solid 4 hours, preferably overnight, to firm up completely. After a long night of waiting, you can finally bring out your finished ice cream and start scooping. Now, real quick guys, if you're scooping ice cream, make sure that after you dip your scoop in hot water, make sure to shake out the excess water from the scoop. This will prevent any scoops of ice cream getting slightly icy and watery, and it should help in preventing ice buildup in your ice cream container too. Now, if you want real nice and round ice cream balls like this, you want to scrape across the ice cream to collect enough to form a ball, and then using your wrist, you're going to twist the scoop towards yourself to get it nice and round. If it doesn't completely form the first time you twist it, you can just continue to do it until it forms completely. And then once you've got a few perfectly round balls of ice cream, it's finally time to eat. Now, from my reaction, do I even need to go into it? This ice cream is smooth, creamy, thick with like 10 C's and richer than I'll ever be. The sweetness and astringency of the burnt caramel comes through beautifully, and it's further highlighted by the sea salt and the vanilla that was added into the mix. If you ever want to impress people at a dinner party without a lot of hard work, this is the recipe for you. This has very quickly become my go-to recipe for when I want to make ice cream, and it never fails to deliver. As always guys, thank you for watching today's episode, and special thank you again to Maple Apgar for requesting this recipe. I'm really sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping it a like down below, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me make in the future. Subscribe to the channel for more weekly content, and when you're ready for another power up, I'll be waiting for you right here with another training arc. Peace!